We're live. Let's go.
We're actually live.
Yeah.
We did
Hello,
it.
everybody.
Yeah,
Oh, my, I'm
yeah.
not in the top left corner anymore.
Oh,
I forgot,
no.
because Dan has a name higher in the alphabet. I think this is the first time this has happened.
No.
He's not the
Yeah,
host
man.
anymore, guys. Wrap it up.
It's all thrown off. We gotta restart
Yeah.
that. We gotta reschedule.
Dang.
You know, we gotta get a new guest that has a name that starts with letters that are lower in the alphabet than DN. Or,
Nah, Dan, just change your nickname.
True, yeah.
Anyway, I
okay.
think we might have more important matters to talk about.
Yes,
today.
hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hackcast.
Yeah, welcome to
This
the
is the wrong-
super-
Okay. I didn't know we had an intro until today, but now we have an intro.
You're welcome.
In the top right corner, we have me. In the bottom left corner, we have GMD. In the bottom right corner, we have Mushi filling in for King Toad, who's doing a Night of Doom 160 star run because he's King Toad.
Hell yeah, let's hear it for King Toad, who might actually finish the run, so that would be dope. I would even forgive him that he put me on the spot like that.
And in the top
Yeah,
left
kids.
corner, we have our special guest of
We
the
have our-
episode. Would you like to introduce
Duddy
yourself?
Yep, it's me, Dan. Big Duddy Dan. Sometimes people say Duddy Piano Well Stone.
So what? Man, I have a question. What are you known for in like the community and all that? Like, what would you say that you're known for?
Let me think. I guess a Duddy and a Mips.
Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Just to make sure Mips is the wrong hack that's about to become major. Like you're gonna release a full-on wrong hack eventually, right?
Yeah, I was gonna do a little episode and then after make a full game after, if people like it, that is. Because if people are like, "Wah, no one likes the Mitch controls, then yeah, I'm probably not gonna make a full game if no one likes the new controls when it's released.
Fair enough, but personally I'm very
Yeah.
optimistic about the reception because as we saw with Mr. with the Capsmith demo, yep, people are eating up that content.
Right, yeah, the captions. I'm actually really happy about how that turned out and stuff. You know, the thing is, I made it in 3 weeks, and then after, I think I asked a few people if they could tell that the amount of time it took to make that was so much less than the amount of time I took to make MIPS stuff so far, and it's pretty much every time people have, you know, no one's been able to tell the difference.
I have a very important question for you, Dan. It's a tradition that we ask a very important question.
All right, what is this traditional question?
Okay, so this traditional question that's very traditional. If you had a TV show, what would it be about?
Sorry, you went a little robotic on me there, Nick. Can you say that again, please?
Okay, I'm sorry. If you got to host your own TV show, what would it be about?
Let me think here. I gotta say,
By the
this
way,
is a
this question-
legitimate answer, right?
By the way, this question's usually a joke, so and I change the question every single time.
Feel free to answer however you want.
But yeah, this is my real answer would be a show where it would be about slapstick and it would be animated through Mario 64. Boom. Banana slip show.
The Banana Slip Show.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's exactly what everyone needs in their
Okay.
lives.
Yeah, there's just not enough slapstick out there in ROM packs. I mean, I know Mario bonks every now and then, but you gotta get your fill of banana peels. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. It's boring when he
I mean,
only
this
bonks
is
on
like
invisible
Pizza Tower,
walls.
which is, like,
Without
filled
bringing the banana.
entirely. Like Pizza Tower is a game that's filled entirely with slapstick and Mario
What about
isn't. I don't know where I was at that point, but
Let's see. Do we have any bombshell news to drop today?
I am working on a 24-hour hack update, but that's not the bombshell news at all.
Oh god, but it's still gonna be rebranded as the 48-hour hack, I suppose? That would only make sense.
No. It's just it's like a small update, quality of life.
Fair enough. Yeah, I suppose
Yeah,
what's
there's
the
a bombshell. There's Bob on Burger. I remember you telling me about that before. This, is that enough bombshell news? Or no?
What did you say, Dan? I couldn't hear you.
It just wasn't a very good joke. I just mentioned Bob on Burger. Since you said bombshell
Oh,
news.
you're making a joke about my hack. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, you guys want to talk about Rover's collab? It's a pretty cool one. He's got a really good format for it and stuff. Eh?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit too early if we want to call it bombshell news, because if it shapes up a little bit more than the concept phase, then it might be a pretty big thing. But it does have potential, I agree.
Uh, I'm not too familiar with the collab. Can you like explain exactly what it is?
Right. So, yeah, the theme of it is crossovers. So basically, each person who joins makes a level and a power up for it, and it's themed to the game that they're crossing over with. So, for instance, I'm going to be picking Doom, and the shotgun is going to be my power up that I put in, and I'm going to make a Doom themed level. And yeah, two other people. I think Yoshi Milkman got Sonic and the dash ability or something like that. And the thing is, every level is going to be prepared for every power up that everyone else has made. So you can use any power up you want anywhere, which is crazy, man. It's gonna be really good for me.
That sounds cool. It also sounds like some levels could be broken with somebody else's power up or whatever.
True, yeah. You know, when someone mentioned that, Rover said, you know what he said? He said, "You just gotta embrace the cheese." That's what he said.
What did he say? I'm sorry.
You gotta embrace the cheese. That it's gonna be cheese.
Yeah.
The levels. That's what he said.
Yeah.
From what I understood from the video, the main balance thing he's going to try and make as an organizer is first collecting all the power-up ideas together and making sure that the ones that sound more broken just appear later in the game. I do hope
Yeah,
that's
that
going
is
to help it.
true. Yeah, I think he did say that. And I gotta say that sounds pretty
Yeah.
good.
That does make sense, you know.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I can't believe how well organized it is because I haven't really been in a collab. The only one that I was in was Serene Fusion, you know, Banana. But
Oh,
the
that's
thing
the
is,
same
I
collab
think
that I was in.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah, the only thing that I did with the organization there was Aglab was just DMing me pretty much, and I didn't have any contact with anyone else there, and I'm not even sure if there is a server with
there
that one.
was a
But
server, and that
There
just
was a
ties into the pretty long story of Serene Fusion. After all, you know, it started from Project 74. Of course, I'm not gonna go over the entire history of the Project 74 server, even though I
Yeah,
physically can, as being one of the people
we
in there.
talked. Yeah.
But for
We
Serene
don't. We
Fusion,
don't.
it's just a mashup of that server translating into, well, all the levels basically going into Aguap scans. Most of the levels that were done at
Yeah.
least and were not sold to other ROM hacks, to say it that way. And then he
Sold.
organized the efforts to fill in the levels with more original levels to make it into a
Yeah.
major length ROM hack. So some people will have just made the level and dropped it inside, and some people were from the original project and that way were more involved. But yeah, there was a server. It was all over the place because of also the hack initially being released for Fan Game Marathon and then continued. So yeah, long story.
oh yeah, I
Man.
forgot about that. I saw that
Yeah.
gravity swapping level being played live. Is that right? I'm pretty sure I saw that one live. Yeah.
Probably it's one of the first levels, so the chance is pretty
Yeah.
high that it was played.
I do believe it
Okay.
was in the original Fan Game Marathon version, so.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Well, my
Fan Game
level was
Marathon,
also.
I think there was Overworld 1 basically was the
Yeah,
content
what
in
kind
there.
of-
There were like 40 stars.
Yeah, my level is also in the fan game marathon ROM, but the thing is, my level was inaccessible, like in the actual like race. It was inaccessible to Florida intended star count at that time because it was not finished, and it was finished originally, but it was not finished in terms of it sucked at that time, and it still kind of sucks, but it's better now.
Yeah, I forgot yours was the crazy
Andy,
the
Andy, can you
spiral sphere
please
puzzle,
stop?
right?
I'm in the middle of something. I'm in the middle of something.
Uh-oh.
I
man.
can't
Hang
let
on
them
a
in.
second. Please excuse us while we take this intermission to talk about our sponsor of today's episode, twitch.tv/rovert.
Oh. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, what were you saying, Dan? I'm sorry about that.
Oh yeah, I was saying yours was the wacky spiral staircase puzzle, right?
Yeah, I think it would have been fine on its own, but in a collab hack, I don't think it's a good idea.
I mean,
Oh
it
yeah, I
was
gotcha. Yeah, oh yeah, but you know
overall
what I
idea,
think
but
of when I
pretty
think
weird.
of that level? TV pressing Alt F4.
I did
Oh,
hear
that's
about
right.
that.
If only we could play the clip on the stream, because
Yes. Friendly
Yeah, that's
reminder
nice.
to everyone that wants to take a screenshot, the button to take a screenshot is not Alt F4.
I
just
like how
in case you didn't know.
I like how he pressed that. Like it wasn't like somebody in chat. Like if you like, I could see like maybe if he asked what the screenshot button is and somebody said Alt F4, he could press it. That's much more. It wasn't that. He just pressed Alt F4.
Yeah, his brain defaulted to that.
Which is even funnier. I think we've talked about this before, though.
Probably.
Oh, man. Yeah, probably.
It's possible.
But yeah,
because
I
very
was saying that my what I was saying there was about the organization. Yeah, so there was a server, and I got that server information. But this time, Rovert, he's got this stuff about letter assignments and everyone communicating and knowing what power-ups everyone's gonna use. And I just think, man, he's done a really good job.
I
He's
guess
done a great job here with this
that makes
organization.
that makes more sense with his kind of hack, where like where everybody has their own power up, because it kind of makes sense that like you would want everybody to communicate so that everybody actually knew what the other power ups were, so they could design their levels around that instead of like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives a motivation to not it motivates people to not have their levels broken either. It's just really good. It brings the teamwork out of the project, really. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Whereas with Stirring Fusion, it's more like a collection of extra levels along with the main game.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I mean,
Dan,
no one
thank you
needs
for
to know that the banana existed. That's just completely separate.
Some people have been saying that the banana level is their favorite level or the best level in the game for them. So
True, I've been seeing that. I've seen that many times, and I kind of feel like it's a little bit wrong because of the lack of gameplay.
People love
basically,
some
yeah,
comedic
that's what
effect.
makes it unique.
I don't think I've actually been to the banana level yet.
What the
I've
hell?
only
Do you?
been-
I think you need to open Serene Fusion right now.
Okay, I played like the first half of Stirring Fusion up until my level, and then I stopped.
Well,
Or maybe no. I'm sure I would remember the banana level.
Yeah, there is definitely a
Remember.
bright future for a lot of collab hacks, and I'm excited to see a lot more cohesion and a lot of more
Yeah.
working together in collaboration in terms of collaborative efforts.
Yeah, that sounds great too, because I didn't even know who else was in Serene and stuff. It was a very isolated type of collab experience there, and I just think it's great how everyone knows what's going on, and it's gonna be a bunch of unique power-ups and stuff. I just keep saying how I'm impressed with the organization and the idea, of course, because it's just, I feel like I might not want another collab to happen after this one because it seems like it's gonna work out so well. I'm just kidding.
That's not.
it doesn't prohibit other co-ops from having good organization. Also, it's just that our community, or well, the specific wings of the community, need more experience with it. The guys who mainly wrong hack or do wrong hacks in Decomp seem to be figuring it out faster than our side. I personally think we can kind of see that with Dog
Yeah,
Co-op, even though it also suffered somewhat from like laziness or IRL issues, like releasing much after the original plan for it. But
Oh, yeah.
That's always going to happen with collabs. There's always going to be somebody who has some sort of IRL thing that gets into the way.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
really
and
something
You know?
that can be changed.
Yeah. Speaking of collab, apparently the demo for Universal Constellation released. The thing that's supposed to have 832 stars eventually at some point.
So
yeah,
that
I think that's probably the most bombshell news we have right now.
that is the
At least
complete
Oh, yeah.
opposite of the cohesion spectrum.
Ooh,
Yeah, you're right. The
Very
whole point of
true.
that hack, I'm pretty sure, is just to get as many levels together. So,
It does.
Yeah,
It definitely takes the alternative philosophy for how to do collab hacks rather than everyone working together to try to make, a similar project among everyone else. It kind of just is everyone makes their own stuff and we sort of just throw it all together. Which, I mean, it
Yeah,
kind of
that
worked for something like Serene Fusion, but also that had a lot of AgLab influence in it. So,
it did.
we'll see how it
Yeah,
works in Giant Hack. But
Yeah.
my 2
I
cents
was
is that Serene Fusion was a very happy little accident because it managing to steal the first place on wronghacking.com by rating, for now at least, was quite something with the wronghack with this little cohesion. And honestly, Universal Constellation is suffering even more from it for pretty obvious reasons, aka its very concept is let's try to make a wronghack that just breaches the star limit and gets to have as many stars as possible within their own hack, that being the
Yeah.
main goal. And
Yeah.
from
Good,
there
yeah.
on, finding people to make levels for their own hack, let alone making exciting or cohesive gameplay, is secondary or tertiary to that. So
Yeah. I was
makes
Yeah,
sense.
I
originally
It's
guess
not
so.
gonna look like a
What's
one
what's
together
called- I
project.
was originally supposed to make a level bet, but then I got mega IRL, so I did that. Never actually did.
Yeah, I
Uh,
actually told the Shine that I probably wouldn't be able to be in if the deadline was October, but still going now, so maybe down the line I might be in it. Maybe. Some point.
you've probably
Because
still
this
got
thing,
plenty of time.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think there might be the opposite problem where they are running maybe out of people or will be running out of people eventually to make new
Yeah,
levels
that's a
to
good point.
even
That's a good
start
point.
from them.
Yeah.
yeah.
410 stars, huh? Man, crazy. That is like a 60-star demo for a 120-star game, though. It's kind of a weird, kind of a weird ratio there.
Yeah, I never understood the
Yeah.
whole thing of releasing demos that are like basically complete games in and of themselves.
Yeah.
Well, people wouldn't want to spend extra time to cut out content to curate a demo that's only like, in this case, 1% of their own hack, and they just kind of want to release the entire progress that is done so far. It's not really in the spirit of a proper demo, but
Yeah, that's
fair
true,
enough,
yeah.
I suppose.
Usually with demos, I would try to go for something that captures the mechanic or what the game would feel like, and then depending on the feedback from there, I would probably want to change it. If the changes need to be made, then that's when you change up the format. But making half the game, then releasing
Yeah.
it, and people telling you, now I don't like this mechanic, then what do? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the usual response in the community has been to kind of ignore the people and keep doing your thing and hope that more people are gonna accept it eventually.
For better or
But
for
I'm not
worse.
sure if that's
My-
the best philosophy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can I
I
explain
gotta say,
my kind of philosophy when it comes to that sort of thing? It's just like, what's it called? Hold on a second. I don't think I've actually released a demo, but I don't think I ever will for most running hacks that I make. I think my reasoning is just that I don't really make hacks for other people. I make them as for myself, if that makes any sense. So I'm the only person I try to like impress with my hack.
oh yeah, that makes sense completely. I gotta say, I feel like maybe in the sense of artistic,
Expression, I suppose.
like a lot of people say, they say, make it for you rather than for the others, but it does depend on what your goal is. For instance, I I feel like I listen to people a lot actually. Maybe too much. I don't know. The thing is, I almost with everything that's a major mechanic in the game, I post some kind of a demo or something, and then say, "What do you guys like more?" And then I just let the graph decide from the votes which thing I go with.
Yeah, like I do like if I actually made like a full hack, I would like invite people to test it just to see if they like see something that I obviously would have changed if I noticed before or whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, but
Like,
important question that I have: how early or how late in the development of drone hack would you invite people to test it?
I think that you guys. I mean, oh, sorry. You were probably asking Vic, right?
yeah,
Both of you can answer, even though DMVic
yeah,
was having the turn right now.
yeah. I'd say I'd invite people near the hacks. Hacking creative.
Sorry, you kind of
Oh.
went robot mode. Could
If it's
you?
like, okay, I'd probably do it at the end because what's it called? If people have like a structural problem, that's just a disagreement. But because when I want tests, like I don't want to change like something like structural about the ROMAC because I'm already perfectly happy with it at this point because I've already made so much of the hack with this structural thing in it, if that makes any sense. And
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't
see. Yeah.
and it's not really laziness. It's more that I'm fine. It's more that I understand that other people might not like it, but I like that
Okay.
specific thing because I've already created it. If I were to create a hack, if this one thing, and I obviously have I personally approve of it, and so I don't feel like it's necessary to have people test that, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes sense. Yeah. I gotcha.
for,
Yeah.
for, for, for my style of like making hacks, I don't think it's that important that people test early. I'd rather have people test it when it's almost done and they've already fixed most of the obvious problems.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say I used to do more of that with the hacking in general too. For instance, I kind of tried to go with what I liked more before, you know, but now I gotta say now it seems like more I go for more of the what everyone or what I think would work better, or at least I have more of that.
I don't know.
I would say I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's hard to see as a ROM hacker because I don't really release a lot of content, so it's not like I have as much merit as you guys. But yeah, I suppose I'm taking it to the extreme with listening to people because if there's stuff that I could do, like moving objects around or applying patches that would help more people enjoy their own hack, especially casuals, then I would probably go for it because for me that's the main thing. If enough people play their own hack, then it's better for them to be comfortable playing it than for me to fulfill some artistic idea.
Yeah.
Mostly because those artistic ideas were probably done in the past by other people already.
Well, that's the thing, in my opinion. In my opinion, I feel like if changing something compromises like the artistic integrity of, I know it's like a vague meaningless term, but like the artistic integrity of the hack, that I won't change it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess an example I can make is 24-hour hack. You know, there's no hack music, and I don't want to change that because the only reason there's no Spanish because I'm just like, it's part of the hack is the fact that there's no Spanish music because I didn't have enough time, or I didn't have the time at the end to actually find the Spanish cap song because I was rushing to find enough songs for the hack.
Oh yeah,
So I
mean
feel
that
like
makes
that's not something I can change because
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's kind of like. Whereas something like, for example, the final fight, where the final fight was awful in the first version of 24-hour hack, but it was only awful because I couldn't. It was only awful because I couldn't figure out how to, or it was only awful because I couldn't do my original method I didn't know how to do at the time. But I asked somebody and they explained how to actually do it. So I just put in the original method of the final fight instead of the original method that I originally tried to do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I got that.
Because my
Yeah.
original thing I wanted to do was have a big spinning platform, which is what's in the current version, the current final version. But for the final fight, but I couldn't figure out how to do that, and so instead I had a bunch of tiny platforms, which was an awful boss fight. And I knew it was awful when I released the hack, but I didn't have the time to figure out how to make it better because I worked on the fight as like one of the last things in the hack.
Oh yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it doesn't violate the integrity of the hack to like make it how I intended it to be, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
When working on it.
Right, yeah, I got
It's
you.
like another. Yeah. Oh no, that's like my 2 cents.
Yeah. That reminded me, when I was working on Capsmith there, the thing is I learned how to leave something, how to actually make it work in a small amount of time there, because I pretty much went for the caps first. The thing is, one thing that helped me out a lot with that is that I thought about it for 2 weeks before I actually got to work on it, and then I made it in 3 weeks there. It's because so basically I thought about how the code would work, in my head first, before I made it, and I gotta say, that led me to make the cap functionality, and I think, how was it again? Yeah, I think 2 hours for each cap's programming, and I just gotta say, something to keep in mind with such a, if you're ever in a short time project, you know what I'm saying? In a rush there, then thinking about it in the off time, man, that can really make a difference. Like thinking about it beforehand,
Yeah.
fleshing it out, you know what I'm saying?
I get it. When I did 24, that's the weird thing is that when I did 24-hour hack, it was just like in one session. Like there
Oh,
were
yeah.
breaks that I took because if the 24 hours included bathroom breaks, then I wouldn't take bathroom breaks. So I paused the timer when I went to the bathroom because I wanted you know what I'm saying. I wanted to actually be able to use the toilet. I didn't want to discourage myself from using the toilet. So
You don't ever want to discourage yourself from being healthy about your activities.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
for
didn't
me,
want to discourage myself from using the toilet or eating, so those times were not counted in like the timer, but like everything else was. So
Mhm. That's
Right, yeah, I
actually
got you.
one of the reasons why I kind of don't like the thought of participating in like real game jams for making like actual indie games or something, because it sounds like a big stress because they usually take like how much 2 or 3 days, but like eating, sleeping, going to the bathroom is counted in those times. They won't pause the
yeah,
timer for you for that, so uh, yeah, I
yeah,
don't like being rushed like that at all.
I don't like that either. Something. That's something. That's the reason why I made sure to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I think Scuttle made a competition a few times back. I can't remember which one it was, but he made it so you can space out the time over a month, I think. But the thing is, you're only supposed to put 56 hours of work in total, and you're supposed to make 30 stars. Man, does that sound crazy or what?
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then well, we got all kinds of flavors of 30 star ROM hacks in just 4 submissions, I think it was. But to be honest, it's not really surprising that the one that won was the Decomp hack that made the 30 stars kind of non-stop and based on the idea that just random jumps would be awarded with stars instead of 30 stars of major ROM hack content.
Right.
Actually,
Yeah, it
there were
was.
really
Oh
two
yeah, I
submissions
forgot
with
it
the
was actually.
vacation course and car hack.
What was it? Mario's vacation course.
Absolutely. And Car
Right.
Hack, as to not say the full name of Drone Hack, also did the same thing. It just did it in a more meaningful way and not as polished, so of course it didn't win.
Mario
But
aimlessly
yeah, the guys
drives
with
a car
Decomp
around
knew
the
what
city.
kind of yeah, 64. Of course, the Decomp guys
Mm.
knew how to kind of creatively get around the requirement. While there were also a couple of submissions that were like major hack tier content with 30 stars, which sounds like a cure indeed.
What even were the other entries to that? I don't remember.
There's one I can't remember.
WSA and Mario can't remember.
Oh, right.
I think that were all entries.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't think WSA was judged because Scott was the judge or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But the content is still there. You gotta say it's definitely different than the 30-star home hacks that were made with Decomp. And of course,
I-
Mario can't remember is probably the most content dense for having 30 stars.
I
And
mean,
I
WSA
would
was
call it
also made in
achievement
Decomp.
for
We should mention that. WSA was also in Decomp. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I forgot
well, I
about
was
that
trying to
one.
make the comparison simple was to not have to, well, explain
Yeah.
myself in multiple sentences about the difference.
I get what you're saying about the difference.
Fair enough.
Like bite-sized stars versus like actual like major stars.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's one of the weird things about the way I use Decomp because Decomp is a tool. It's not really like a like, and people can use it for other things. When I use Decomp, it's weird. I don't use it to make. Oh, I think I've mentioned my philosophy on Hackcast a couple times, so I'm gonna be short about this. But like, I don't use Decomp to make something like to try to make something to try to like make something new. I'd rather use Decomp just to enhance what I already can, like what I can to enhance my concept. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense,
It's-
man.
Mhm.
I gotta say,
Like
I usually use it.
What did he say?
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, that makes sense. I was, were you finished yet? You can keep going. If you had something else to say.
An example of that is how I like using the lighting engine because it's something I couldn't. It enhances the code. It doesn't really like add any. Like it isn't like I don't do it. I don't like. I guess a good example, like Divin's Clown Dojo. The act I could have probably made it like Raw Manager or whatever, but I made it in Decomp because it makes there's certain parts of it that make it actually like I don't know. It makes it. I can't really describe what I'm. I've
So
also
take
been
away
off for
from
like
that.
12 hours.
Oh. As a takeaway from that, it is good to make experimental stuff sometimes, so whether it is to test the tools you're using or to find out if they're capable of doing something new that other people haven't really been focusing on doing. Yeah, that sounds like a good
Like,
idea.
I'm not really. That's.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I think Decomp gets a lot of, a lot of pushback from some of the older community people because it does a lot of new stuff. But I think there's also good examples of hacks where Decomp just sort of enhances the classical style of hacks, like with I think one of the best.
That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
Okay, yeah. I think one of the biggest examples of that is Escape from the Jail Definitive Edition. It's it's obviously a decomp hack, but it also still feels like it keeps to that sort of classic hack tradition.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of it in part due to it
Yeah.
being a remake, but it still feels like it just feels like a modern hack. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel the need to throw a ton of wacky custom stuff everywhere or stuff like that, which is cool in its own right, but there's kind of a balance to be had between all sorts of new custom stuff and just sort of enhanced traditional hacks, and I do like that. I like that a lot.
My personal philosophy is that if the custom stuff was included, like my personal philosophy, I should make something custom. Is that if the custom thing was in vanilla, would I still include it? And if the answer is yes, then I include it in the hack or whatever. That's my philosophy on how I handle custom stuff. Personally,
That's an
Yeah,
interesting one,
you
and
know,
it
it's
sounds like it could be difficult sometimes to make the call. Like I'm interested because I cannot think of concrete examples, but it would probably be difficult for me to tell what would be in vanilla and what wouldn't make it. So I don't know how you're making the call, and you've got me curious.
like what I mean is like, let's say there's like a let's say I want to make a custom note block or whatever, and I want to use it. Let's say I make a custom note block and I want to use it. Mop note block, but I make my own custom one. Just for example, my philosophy is use this object in this, or would I use this object or whatever, if it was in vanilla, like in like TikTok Clock or whatever. If TikTok Clock had a note block for some reason, would I use it? And it was like already in the game. I didn't have to personally create it. Would I still use it?
Right, yeah, that makes sense. I gotta say, kind of the way that I think of making custom stuff and how I include it is, the thing is that it's changed a lot over time. I used to be more about put vanilla stuff around and do something creative with it, and you know, maybe make some custom stuff. But these days, it's a lot closer to just making a unique video game. I feel like with the custom stuff. I don't think there's been a vanilla object that I've used for a little while here. I usually like to reprogram them.
So would you say
there's
you've
definitely different
evolved?
like
Oh,
there's like
sorry,
different
yeah, we can.
styles
Ah,
of
okay.
hacking now.
There we
You have like a different style of hack. That makes sense for style where, you know, you're you're making hacks of like completely different mechanics. It makes sense that you would want to make completely different objects and stuff to go along with this mechanics.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say, when I look at it again, I feel like Nips might be as far as I want to get from vanilla, just because I feel like any more would just have no point, basically. And even at the current state, it might, it might be a little too far for a lot of people who play Mario 64 to like. I'm thinking, but we'll see.
That's a thing. That's a thing I was thinking about when I first heard. I was thinking, how much do you change before it's not a Mario 64 ROM?
Yeah, I
Because
think
it's all in code, you can change anything.
I feel
Right,
like
yeah, the thing is, with
That's
like reprogramming the particles and stuff. Although I don't really know how people think of that stuff. I gotta say, I don't think that people really care if you can see all 150 coins on screen at once, or if you can, or if the dust looks a little bit different, or moves different, or is higher quality, because it's rewritten and stuff.
Mhm.
But I think the stuff that matters more is probably obviously the controls and stuff.
I think the
And yeah,
movement
that's
for
a good
sure.
point.
The-
Right, yeah, and
that's-
that's a good point. When does it become not 54?
Yeah, I've looked at stuff like like Elise or Lucy's Levitation and stuff like that. That's just it doesn't even feel like Mario 64 anymore. It almost just feels like its own N64 game, which is cool. It's just like, where do you draw the line?
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, like in some ways, like stuff like Ocarina of Time, like you could consider Ocarina of Time code for Mario 64 in Ocarina of Time. If you're going by like if you draw the line at a certain point, Ocarina of Time becomes a Mario 64 hack. So it's a tough line to draw.
Yeah,
Obviously, Ocarina of Time isn't a Mario 64 hack.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it might kind of be about the game in general. Also, the original material. I mean, like, for instance, I feel like you could still consider it a Mario 64 hack if it's vanilla levels, but Mario is just completely replaced with something else, some other code. You know what I'm saying? For instance, if Mario is just a ragdoll that you throw around and then flops on the geometry, then it would still be Mario 64 if you can do that in Bob-on Battlefield, right?
Yeah. It's kind of just
But at the same time, like, obviously stuff, and it's obviously like Star Road is a Mario 64 hack, even though it doesn't contain any of the original levels. So like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's like I feel like my personal take is that something is a Mario 64 hack if it's mostly Mario 64. all it's like I'm not even talking about like just like movement and stuff, but also like camera or like I don't know, like there's stuff from Mario 64 that's leached into there. Most of like a good amount of the stuff that's in the hack is from Mario 64, even if it's like physics or camera or whatever.
Yeah. I
think definition. And by that definition, like more Ocarina of Time, the physics in Ocarina of Time is different. The camera in Ocarina of Time is different. The character, the music system's the same, but that doesn't really matter as much. The particles are different. Like even like little things like that, like particles existing, or like I don't know.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That's my personal take.
Yeah, I gotta say, I feel like I would wanna maybe after I make MIPS and stuff, I feel like maybe I would just want to make some ROM hacks that use the red man, move the man, as people say. You know what I'm saying? I just want to, because I feel like that might be a lot there, and I feel like it would be good to just see how people like, all these new systems like the part of, the generated effects, the coins, the sky. There are a bunch of others I could say, but yeah, see how people like that stuff when you have Mario in there still. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention that Mario's gonna look a little upgraded himself, but the movement would be virtually the same. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see how that plays out some. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's good to get kind of get a feel of which one people would like. Because I gotta say, I don't really know if people are gonna hate this stuff like MIPS or not. You know what I'm saying? When they play it, that is.
I don't really have anything wrong with like custom characters or custom. I'll be honest, I don't play new so my opinion really doesn't matter here. I haven't played a hacker. The reason I played it is because my levels in it.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You got a little robotic there.
Yeah, you are being.
Actually.
Basically, I was just saying that I don't play it anymore because
Sorry, it doesn't get better right now.
Yeah.
I'm not better.
Yeah, no. Something's going on this time for longer, it seems. Wait, maybe?
Is it?
Pause.
I think it might be if you say a full sentence.
I think you're good.
I am a person that exists. Is that good?
Yeah.
It's better, but yeah, it's better. Yeah.
I hope it's good enough.
Okay. Anyway, I was saying though about Hackcast, or not Hackcast. I was saying though about what's it called? I don't play many new hacks, so I don't really think that my opinion matters too much. But like, I don't have any personal problem with like. What's it called? I don't have any personal problem with like custom characters, but like the thing is, when I play Mario 64 X, I'm usually speedrunning them, and that's like the thing. I like the movement of Mario, the Red Man, in like a speedrun sense. So it's not it's like custom mechanics. Is that I cannot play it because it's not the Red Man, because that's why I play a lot of Mario 64 hacks, is because I like moving him around.
I think part of why
everyone likes moving the Red Man.
That's part of why it has so much staying power and why people are still making ROM hacks to this day. It's because of the movement. It's just that, yeah, a lot of it, if you can get past that sort of initial wave of, oh, this is different, this isn't traditional Mario 64, this is different movement, different character, then at that point, if you can sort of appreciate it for it being its own thing and sort of dissociate it a little bit, then you can really have a fun time with it. It's just a matter of sort of getting over that initial, oh, this is different, I have to get used to this now.
Like, if I want to play, I guess the way I can describe it is that like if I play a pack that has like the red man, it's because I want to play Mario 64 because I just want to because I'm used to Mario 64. If I want to play a hack that has like custom characters or whatever, it's because I want to play a new game. If that makes any sense, I have to actually be like have the willpower to actually play something new.
Yeah, that's kind of my big barrier as well. It's just like it basically is like you're having to start a new game entirely. But once you do and get through that, then it's usually pretty fun. And then you can sort of see it as its own thing and sort of just forget it's Mario 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like I've played a couple hacks that have custom characters and custom mechanics like that. It's definitely interesting, but it's also definitely like something I have to like specifically put my mind to. I want to play this hack. I don't want to play like normal Mario 64. It's like a different thing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I got you.
It
Makes sense.
doesn't make it worse or anything. It's just different.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I don't think Dan's initial point was really about whether custom characters make the game much better or much worse. It's more about the the experiment, which I think to be really well planned out, and I hope it works well
Mm-hmm.
when it actually gets executed. To separate the two things, because whether custom characters are good or not according to people, we would be looking at those like quality of life improvements or like engine improvements, lighting and whatnot, ported in the original game. If I understood correctly, it would be nice to see indeed how those features enhance the vanilla game without custom levels and custom characters being built around them.
Yeah,
I get it.
Got you.
Like that's the thing. That's the reason why I use Decomp. It's not because I prefer making hacks with the red man that are pretty traditional. You know, maybe like a couple custom mechanics, but nothing that's not in line with vanilla. Like custom mechanics, like how TikTok clock has pendulums, which are custom. You know, where it's not really like it's still within the spirit of the game, the vanilla game rather. That's how how I make my models. If I like, what's it called? And because of that, like, but I still use Decomp because I like using the custom lighting, the custom, all the other stuff that Mushi said earlier a second ago.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also a lot more
know,
noticeable in vanilla context when you sort of, because like you can see this hack and you'll see how it looks so incredibly impressive, but oftentimes a lot of people won't know why it's impressive or something like that. But then if they sort of see that applied to like a vanilla context, then they'll have more of an idea of how exactly things are better in a way.
I'm optimistic for this type of experiment, like finding good results or something like that. Because, for example, if we take the shining stars or like the star shine that has been applied to them, that we can see in Serene Fusion and Escape from the Jail Definitive Edition, people seem to love that shit, and it's even to an extent where I don't quite get it because it's just the stars are letting off some light.
Yeah, it's just like a little effect, but I get it.
Yeah, exactly, and it doesn't really depend on what the background is or what the level style is.
Some things are
Maybe it would be a little bit excessive if it's applied in vanilla, but it seems like this is an example of one feature that people just like for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to like those, just little changes that are, I gotta say, lots of the time visual. Like you said, the star thing. Sometimes people like when Mario doesn't look like Lego, or doesn't look like an action figure. He doesn't look like he's made out of a bunch of little segments.
Personally, I'm fine with any like model changes that make him look the same, but like are different in unknown ways. I don't like Mario where he's like tiny, where he looks awful. I find that.
Sorry.
The low poly Mario where he.
Hey, you guys there? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I
can't
can hear you.
Yes.
Hear anyone else?
At least right now. Oh.
Ooh, hello?
So what I was saying is, can you hear me?
I can hear
Am
you.
I
Yes,
hearable?
I can hear everyone right now.
I can hear everyone. Are we all good still?
Yeah. Okay. I
I
think
hope so.
we're good now.
I'm good.
Dan, you there?
Dan, are you good? Dan?
I think
Maybe
Dan
not.
said he was having issues with hearing everybody, so we might. Technical difficulties.
Oh, this is where we bring out our sponsor for today, right, Jamie?
Yeah. So we were asking earlier about our sponsor today, Raid Shadow Legends. Do not download this game. We are not actually sponsored or affiliated.
Oh man, that's a plot twist. I did not expect that
I
personally.
thought we were sponsored by them. I didn't notice.
Yeah, where's my damn paycheck? I want my sponsorship money, and I want it now.
I want like 22 cents that they would probably pay me for the amount of people that see this or hear this. They just disconnected.
Oops.
Oh, the Hackcast spot is
Oh.
now connected.
Let's
So I'm
go.
serious.
That's what I was saying,
You get to see an upside down Mario. Dan?
Can you guys hear me?
There we go. We can hear you
but-
now.
Oh, we can. Yeah, if you can hear us, then everything is fine.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I lost connection for a moment there.
All right, we're good.
Okay, what was I saying? What?
Ah, yes. I feel like I should start playing some elevator music or something.
That could be a good solution.
I'm sorry,
Jeopardy
I'm back.
thinking team is fine
I'm
with me
sorry,
personally.
I'm back. My brother keeps on trying to yell into my room when I'm doing this for some reason.
Ah,
It's
yes.
frustrating.
Brothers.
Gotcha.
I was saying,
Were you talking about Lego Mario by any chance?
oh yeah, Lego Mario. Yeah. So basically, my thing of changing Mario's model, I'm fine with it personally, as long as you can't notice it. As long as it's not a noticeable change. So like, I'm fine on like reducing the poly count or like changing some minor things. Or if it's noticeable, it's something like changing Mario to Luigi or whatever. It's noticeable, but it's like still similar. That's
Mhm.
my like.
You like it more vanilla with your models. Like if it's like
Yeah.
just it's still Mario or even like Luigi or something, but it still looks generally like Mario, even if it's enhanced or something like that.
Yeah. I don't like a Mario that looks like New Super Mario Bros. Mario. I want a Mario that looks like Mario
Yeah.
64 Mario.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like making making the textures more HD. Like Mario's eyes not being so sharp, the edges like so you can see the pixels. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I also
That
think it's
kind of
much
stuff.
better if you just get rid of the Lego factor. Now, this by all means, this is not an easy thing to do. But I mean, if you have a good skinned Mario model, I know that sounds weird, but that's just the term for rigging it in a way so that he doesn't look like each segment is its own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see
Yeah.
that he's a bunch of little pieces.
Mhm.
I feel like it's
I think I
it's
get
not
it.
noticeable, but it improves it a lot when you do that. That's something I like to do.
Mhm. I think it's also just something they've
Yeah.
done, more modern Mario models just as a whole. Everything's sort of just been improving.
Yeah.
It's kind of just in like the Peach Fuzz of 3D model eras. Because, yeah, this was what, 1996? They
Yeah,
were
exactly.
making
I
some of the
can't think of
first
a
3D
Lego
models ever. So, in video
I mean,
games.
except for maybe the letters that say pause in Yoshi's Island.
Hmm.
Those look 3D.
Hmm.
Those things, man.
Or like some like SNES games, like a Donkey Kong Country, where they
Star
would,
Fox SNES.
yeah, stuff where
Yeah.
they'd make 3D models and then give them 2D sprites, or just do like some fake 3D stuff.
Star Fox is real 3D, but it's like very primitive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
Is there
like, if
any?
you play an actual Star Fox, it's like triangles.
Mhm.
You know.
Oh yeah, I remember
original
seeing
Star Fox.
Fox's angular head. You gotta watch out when you're standing next to him. You might get poked.
Yeah. You could open a can with those jagged edges.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of models to sprites, I was thinking of going sprites to models with the Doom crossover thing for the Rover collab.
Hmm.
There, I just thought it'd be interesting to make the enemies 3D. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think about, the crossover collab thing? Are there any games that jump out at you guys, like the one that you would do if you were involved in the collab? Any game that you
Oh,
would cross over with?
yeah, definitely. I have a funny story about that. And before continuing, I'm kind of curious if you can share that information. Is the co-op already full, or are they still looking for people? See
Yeah,
what?
they're still looking for people, and actually, just a couple hours ago, Rovert posted an announcement that he's extending the recruitment to, I think, May 15th. So yeah, you got plenty of time to be in, I think.
Oh, fair enough. Because yeah, my immediate thought when I watched that video and I read that announcement was basically a Splatoon, and I imagined,
Where's
well,
the announcement?
this would best
I'm
work
just.
if I manage to. What are you asking? Sorry.
Where's the announcement? I'm just curious because I haven't been able to find
The
it.
extension announcement or the initial announcement with the video about the ROM hack?
Initial announcement.
He definitely posted it in probably many servers, but he definitely posted it in the public server. I think in general, but
Here,
it
I'll
might
find
take
the
a
message
couple.
for you. You can keep talking about Splatoon.
Yeah. Yeah, you can talk
Yeah.
about it now.
Now it's gonna sound like Splatoon is the main thing. I mean, kind of. It's the main idea over here. I imagined it as
Oh.
I would. Hold on. Okay.
Hey, you guys hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry. What were we saying, Mushi?
Yeah. I continue talking about the things that popped up in my head about Splatoon and stuff. I was saying, well, if I took on such an idea, I wouldn't leave myself to do the level modeling. Actually, I would try to challenge myself and get into Decomp by doing the coding part of the project. Because, by the way, Robert allows for 2 people co-ops per level, where one person does the level modeling and one person does the programming for the power-up. So I would
Oh,
have
yeah,
tried
yeah.
that, and I would have asked Brodude for the level modeling for what I think is pretty obvious reasons if the game is Splatoon. So I decided to preliminarily ask Robert if that whole thing is a good idea, because there's many ifs if you're following my train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
And he did say there's actually another group of people who wants to do Splatoon, so that might not really work out. So I still wonder
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's a good idea to ask Brodude and find another game. Maybe it would be interesting if you take one of his other favorite games and try to incorporate balloons into Mario. But at
Yeah,
this
that
point, I'm
sounds
kind of
pretty cool.
All right, so hear me out, Mushy. Instead of Splatoon, you
Yeah.
do Splatoon 2.
no. I know, I get it. We could actually make an argument that Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, it introduces or plays around with a whole lot of gimmicks that you don't really get to see very often in the multiplayer part of the game or the other single player parts of the game. But that's too nerdy of a difference, and honestly, leave it be. Leave one set of people to the
Yeah.
series and just go find something else.
I think Wussel and Joanne are both doing the Splatoon, but I think that Robert said it's more of a, what was it again? Pretty much whoever locks in with the idea and knows that they're going to be working on it gets it first. But there are, is it mostly the idea of using a first-person shooter that got you interested in Splatoon, or is it something else?
What's it called?
Uh,
Can I explain? Can I explain what I would be interested in after you're done with this?
Maybe, but I suppose I have to continue the thought now because the question was directed at me. Now,
Yeah.
I was focusing on Splatoon itself because first I have experience with it, and second, I would claim some of its mechanics are not really typical in the first-person genre, like submerging in ink to move faster or climb up walls or stuff like that is not
Yeah.
really indicative of
Oh,
all
okay.
first-person shooters.
Mhm.
I got you.
See, what's it called? If I'm going in a completely different direction.
Don't worry, I'll go in a completely different
I'm
one when you're
stuck
done.
between two different. I'm stuck between two different games. I think if I were to choose a game, I would probably choose Block. I'm assuming everybody here knows what Block is because of the actual game is also good.
How do you spell it? What is it?
Because like what's it called? PLOK.
Oh, okay.
I
I
think
don't
with
think
an
I've heard about
exclamation
it.
mark at the end.
Everybody knows about it because of Toasted Coast in Treasure World, but
Yeah,
or
basically.
that's what
I
everybody
mean,
assumes knows about it from. But the actual game is cool and the music is great. Half the reason I would include it is just so I have an excuse to port amazing songs. But the other half of the reason, if I were to participate in this collab or whatever, I would choose Plocracy because I think what's it called? I think the idea of like Mario, like shooting out his limbs like Plock does, is actually like a interesting idea because that's what what's it called? That's
yeah,
like the whole mechanic of Plock is you shoot like is you don't have a gun, or you actually do get a gun, but it's like a power up in the game. But like the whole like mechanic in Plock, you don't like punch enemies, you throw.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting thing, and you
So
can
did you
actually throw.
say? Sorry, did you say throw lips? What was that?
Like limbs.
Limbs, like
Limbs.
like
You
your
know, it's
arm.
actually kind
You
of
can
funny.
throw.
I actually made.
So
It was an unfinished DPW game I made a while ago where you can jump and kick, and when you kick, Mario's shoe flies off like Cappy in Odyssey.
yeah,
You can hit enemies with it. So
Oh
something
god.
kind of like that,
yeah,
right?
it's kind of in Block basically. So first you shoot your arms, and then if you run out of arms to shoot, you shoot your leg. And if you have no legs on you right now, at that point, what's it called? You start like bouncing in the air. It's kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
God, talk about ragdoll
That's pretty
physics.
Yeah.
Good thing I grabbed my
No,
extra
it's
leg
a-
this
it's actually
morning.
it's actually a really cool concept for a platformer, especially one from.
Mm-hmm. Plock released September 1993, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And literally older than Mario 64.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 30-year-old game too.
What my thought would be,
Oh, yeah.
my thought was either that or Ape Escape, but Ape Escape is kind of like all over there with mechanics. So Plock has like one specific mechanic that is more interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah. I got you. Sounds pretty cool though. Yeah. Also, I want to say, yeah, what was it again? Yeah, I was gonna say, Rover does have a part of his form there that you can, if you apply to it, you can say that you're a music porting person. People who specifically just work on music. In case that's what you were said you might be interested in, you know.
I mean, I do port music. The thing is, how I port music, I just port whatever I feel like and include it later.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how I like it. I don't know. That's like how I port my music. Is that like I include whatever songs I feel like, and then later on, actually want to include it. That's the best way to describe it. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, music. Okay. What's it called? GMD. What was your idea?
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of realizing now that I don't think my idea would work that well in the confines of this hack, because it kind of sounds like everything's sort of like linked among power-ups, right? And you sort of get a game with a power-up in it.
Yeah, he says that you shouldn't have too much of a, the scope of it shouldn't be too big.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely possible you can do something complicated. Axo put in I think a time slowing mechanic, and it actually works pretty well. It's not too difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know. Something I've always wanted to do, just harkening back to my background, I've always wanted to make like an auto-scroller level that is a geometry dash level, but have that actually but have that actually work in the confines of Mario 64. But that would take a lot of effort, and I don't think it would really. There's not really many power-ups in that game necessarily, so it doesn't really apply as well. I guess
The most equivalent thing I can think of when you mentioned that is basically Super Mario Run, which was the Probably the best example of an auto-scroller with actual content that I've
Mhm.
seen.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you're talking about power-ups in Geometry Dash. Isn't there actually one that, or it might not be a power-up, but more like a set part
Yeah.
of a level that it happens in, but where it switches gravity, right?
Yeah, that is a mechanic, yeah. There's a few different mechanics that it uses, I guess, so those could technically be sort of power-ups. It would just be, yeah. It would just be
Sounds
complicated to
interesting
try to
that,
include them.
Gotcha. You know, the only reason why I would take that more seriously, you know, the gravity one, is because you know, what Arthur made with the gravity and stuff, right?
The gravity swap. Or
Yeah,
hell, the
it just seems much more possible. I mean, I'm not sure if we can make a separate collision model in that demo that he released where you can just you know, flip gravity.
mhm. I
I
think it's
wasn't sure if you made a collision model or not, because if you don't, then that actually sounds pretty possible to make it work well in other people's levels, you know. Just make sure, I mean, I gotta say, if you have a level with open sky, then you're gonna in trouble, but
yeah.
you know, you can put some roofs or something so people can stand.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a concept for sure. It just yeah. It's been on the back of my mind for a long while, but I'm not exactly the most qualified to do it, so but yeah,
I mean, technically,
I would have to
if
learn
you
and that would take
really want
effort and
to
I
try,
don't have that right now.
I mean, if you
Oh, yeah.
really want to try, you could have gone for teaming and make the level around the concept while someone else programs it.
I could, yeah.
It's a good point there, Mushi, yeah. It would be cool to see these ideas here, yeah.
But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how that whole thing turns out.
Yeah.
I
You know, I
know.
was thinking of, if you guys want, I could tell you a bit about the shotgun thing. I was
Yeah, go
thinking about, you know, it would kind of probably be fun, the shot factor, right? When people go in first person, you know, see up, and then after they fire, then boom, the Goomba goes flat on the wall. Just boom, just takes out whatever's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? They have
Mhm.
that giant thundering shotgun sound. Sounds kind of funny. You know, since it would just basically be cartoony. Like I was thinking, I could have the Goomba. So what it would do is, when you fire it, it would take the enemies in front of it. You know, do a raycast from the camera to the enemy, and then if it takes them, basically it puts them directly to the wall behind it. So I mean, I would just do basically I'd kind of do a spring approach to kind of make it look springy to, you know, accentuate the cartooniness of it, and when we scale it to be flat, you know what I'm saying? It might not be really, it might not make very much sense to you guys since I'm kind of talking about float approaching functions and stuff like that. But anyway, I want to make it look cartoony when you get shot.
What's it called? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm not paying too much attention. I'm trying to focus as much as I can, but I'm kind of tired for a while.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it's good that I'm tired because I have to wake up early tomorrow, so that's fine. It's just I also can't think that much.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, like being super or like quiet in certain situations, or like I'm not saying much. Like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, that's fine.
that's fine.
Yeah, I got you. Like, but yeah, I was also thinking that maybe when you jump in the air and you press the trigger, then the gun shoots downward, and it's basically a roof like that.
Yeah, that's the
So,
one. I'd have to try to actually make the power up good if I were to do like a block power up, because
Mhm.
like there's so many things, you know, like comparing that to a shotgun, your Williams or you get to shoot a shotgun. Which would you rather do?
Yeah.
You know?
oh, what's that? What'd you say, Vic? I didn't quite catch it.
Oh, what's it called? Yeah, that's the one thing I would have to try to do. Is I feel like my power, like if it was like a block power, I feel like it would be underpowered in the sense that like you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
shoot
I
the
got you.
limbs, or you could shoot a shotgun. You know, which would you rather do? I'd rather shoot a shotgun rather than my limbs.
Well, you can't shoot a shotgun without limbs, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that
but
could
Game
be,
Vic is right that
I mean,
the
the thing
shotgun
is,
would do more oomph.
mhm.
So I'd have to like figure out a way to like make it so that shooting your limbs is actually like a thing you would want to do.
yeah. Well, what about maybe being able to make the limbs trajectory curve in the air in some way? You know, kind of like a boomerang or something
thing
like
is,
that.
like, the thing is, I want it to be like realistic to the original game. You know, I don't want it to like deviate from that.
Maybe for once this would be a good place to do a compromise, because Dan's idea sounds like okay, it makes sense to me. It doesn't sound like the best phrasing, but yeah, sounds like a good thing in order to be able to incorporate it in the grand scheme of the ROM hack. And after all, it's a co-op ROM hack, so
Yeah,
it
I get it.
doesn't follow the
It
same
doesn't.
philosophy.
That's what I was saying though. Is that like I don't know. I'm just thinking that there might be a better way to make it better, and it's something that like it really doesn't matter because the chances of me actually doing this are not high. So
Well, it's a good thought
Yeah.
experiment.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the shotgun is instantaneous. Also, you know, you're gonna see the wall blown away right at the moment. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, a limb sounds like it's more of a traveling type of projectile, right?
it is a
You
traveling
probably
projectile.
with that, right? Yeah, sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
Like, it
forward to
does.
seeing you guys join and stuff. That's gonna be cool. I think this is actually the one of the events that's impressed me the most. I guess this collab and review were the two events that impressed me the most. Also, loud car driving by. Sorry about that.
It happens.
Yeah, it's better than having a brother that chimes in every 20 minutes.
I don't know. We could make a whole competition out of the most untimely or unpleasant noises in a given moment. There could be many entries on that list.
Yeah, that it would.
If y'all like, we
Yeah,
could.
for the co-op,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, for the co-op, I also want to, well, surprise myself. Will I manage to join, or will I not come up with an idea, or will I not be able to, well, participate due to IRL reasons? I hope I find the time, because like the video really scratched an itch for me, because I have been imagining in my own head a ROM hack that is basically a tribute to a bunch of random other games that I have liked playing. So surely I would be able to come up with some fitting idea, at least one to well pass on to this ROM hack. It appeals to me
Yeah,
as an idea.
Well, I think that's about time. I'd say we've been going on for a while.
I think it's a good
Yeah.
stopping point.
Yeah, sounds
So,
good.
tell us where we can find you, Dan.
So yeah, you mean on Discord, right?
Just wherever. Plug yourself.
Right, yeah. Yeah, on YouTube. You know, it's Go and Play TV. That's what the GPTV stands for. And it's actually both of us on the channel. Me and my bro Alex. He does the Mario Maker stuff. I do the Mario 64 stuff. So if you see two people there, then that's what's going on with it.
All right.
Gary, Dan, I thought it stood for Gary Peon's Tiny Vision.
Oh my god.
Well.
Tiny Vision power up in that collab, huh? Sounds pretty cool.
All right.
Shout out to Dan for being that creative.
All right, so I'm gonna hop out now. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by and talking with us.
Oh, we should
Yeah,
raid something first before you.
Let's
pop
see,
out.
who are we gonna raid?
I wonder who's live. I'll do that.
Yeah, does he deserve the rate is the question.
Yeah, that's the real question.
That's the real question. Should we rate him or Moomy?
Yeah, to be honest. Nah, I mean personally I am for King Toad.
Let's raid King
I'm
Toad.
already there in fact. But well. You decide.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks everyone for listening.
All right. See you guys. That was
Peace.
fun. That was good. I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
See you later too.
Ah, yes.
Okay, we've rated.
All right. Stop streaming.